Singapore is actively threading artificial intelligence across every pre-existing sector of its economy. To maintain its status as a premier global hub, the state is mandating AI adoption in everything from healthcare to its nascent space agency. This chart shows the rapid acceleration in enterprise AI expenditure, driven by massive state fiscal levers. The government introduced a highly lucrative 400% tax deduction, specifically designed to force the pace of corporate AI adoption. But this creates an adoption protection paradox. As the state aggressively subsidizes enterprise efficiency, the human workforce is rendered acutely vulnerable by those exact same technological gains. State leadership calculates that this macroeconomic growth will generate massive fiscal surpluses, which can then be redirected into social safety nets. Yet, that high-level optimism conceals a brutal microeconomic reality for individual job seekers on the ground. For decades, the corporate world relied on a cognitive apprenticeship model. Junior employees built crucial domain intuition by executing high-volume, routine analytical tasks, parsing legal discovery, cleaning data, or running basic code debugging. This diagram shows the traditional corporate organizational pyramid. Research indicates that generative AI systems can now seamlessly execute up to 60% of those foundational junior tasks, effectively hollowing out the entire base of the structure. At the exact same time, the narrow top of that pyramid actually expands. Senior executives and seasoned professionals are leveraging AI for rapid strategic execution, completely insulating themselves from the displacement happening below. Global organizations are confirming this operational shift. PwC recently stepped back from a highly publicized goal of hiring 100,000 new employees. AI models now process documents in minutes that historically required teams of junior consultants for weeks. This contraction is compounded by a phenomenon called job hugging. Terrified incumbent employees prioritize extreme job security over career mobility, artificially choking off natural attrition and keeping entry-level vacancies closed. The modern graduating cohort is staring up at a phantom ladder. The entry-level proving grounds they need to start their careers are sawed off by algorithmic efficiency. The friction of a modern job search begins long before any human interaction. Graduates are forced to battle applicant tracking systems, rigid algorithms that instantly parse and rank unstructured resume data to gatekeep the candidate pool. Candidates are fighting back with deceptive countermeasures like white fonting. Applicants hide prompt injection commands and entire job descriptions into the margins of their resumes, using invisible white text, trying to force a perfect keyword match. The integrity crisis escalates during live video interviews. Desperate applicants are running real-time AI audio parsing programs and deepfake teleprompters. The system listens to the recruiter, instantly generates highly optimized answers, and feeds them directly to the candidate screen. The entry-level job market has devolved from a meritocratic progression into a weaponized technological arms race between desperate humans and rigid algorithms. Corporate human resource departments now realize that a generative AI tool can flawlessly fake technical knowledge recall. Testing an applicant on raw factual knowledge is completely useless as an indicator of genuine human competence. Employers are responding with aggressive defensive measures. They are deploying plain text parsing audits to catch white fonting, implementing advanced psychometric behavioral tests, and running proprietary AI systems designed specifically to detect interview fraud. Progressive hiring managers are now testing for trust calibration. During an interview, they give candidates an AI-generated output that contains subtle intentional flaws. The assessment is based entirely on the candidate's ability to critically analyze and verify the machine's mistakes. This adversarial loop forces employers to hire for deep emotional intelligence, ethical judgment, and the courage to challenge machines. If the routine learning phase is entirely automated, specialized fields face an existential vacuum. A junior doctor or lawyer must observe thousands of mundane cases to develop the pattern recognition required to spot complex anomalies. To bridge this gap, institutions are building synthetic training environments. These modules artificially compress years of routine operational work into highly concentrated AI-generated scenarios. But relying purely on synthetic data carries severe academic risks. If these models hallucinate or lack senior human auditing, trainees suffer from clinical information degradation, developing a dangerous, misplaced confidence in their untested abilities. The state is also intervening financially to preserve the physical corporate proving ground. By funding 70% of monthly training allowances, the government heavily subsidizes traineeships, artificially lowering the cost of junior labor to incentivize organizations to keep hiring. Inside the office, organizations are formalizing reverse mentoring. Tech-fluent Generation Z workers bypass the obsolete grunt work by directly teaching senior executives how to tactically deploy algorithmic workflows and maximize their generative tools. Society must actively construct entirely new, subsidized, and synthetic learning pipelines to prevent an entire generation from losing the capability to learn. Critics, including labor economists and the political opposition, warn that without broader structural safety nets, like national redundancy insurance or minimum wage floors, these current policies risk trapping displaced workers in chronic underemployment. The era of compensating fresh graduates for raw manual execution, high-volume data processing, and simple algorithmic obedience is permanently over. Educators and employers must rigorously redesign entry-level roles. A junior employee must be treated as an auditor and commander of machines from their very first day on the job. The Singaporean workforce can only turn the disruptive uncertainty of artificial intelligence into a strategic advantage by firmly anchoring its professional identity in uniquely human judgment rather than mechanical execution.